All of us have probably dealt with a drive-through order mistake. But the way the woman with the red hair dealt with McDonald's workers has police trying to find her 2 months after this incident. The restaurant in some way apparently messed up the woman's drive-through order, so she came inside to show her displeasure with customer service.
I don't understand why people don't want to work anymore. I get that clip shows an extreme example, but I can't count the number of business owners denouncing the workforce as lazy, entitled, having no work ethic, and the classic, no one wants to work. And they do this without any consideration to the environment that they're forcing people into. Here's the deal. People do want to work. They either A, don't want to work for your company, or B, they don't want to work for you personally. Business owners are repeating the cry that no one wants to work so often that it's literally become a meme. And here's a couple of my favorites. In the first pick, they're requiring that the person pays for their own certification training, and they're requiring people to work unpaid 5 days a week for like 4 to 6 weeks. It's ludicrous. The second pick asks for a master's degree while offering $15.29 an hour. So even assuming that it's a 40-hour week, that's barely over $30,000 a year for someone with a master's. Not what I would exactly call competitive compensation. Picture 3, passive-aggressive clip art, letting everyone know that you will not be approving any time off for any reason. Sure, let's have at it. And the fourth picture is of corporate training that tries to trip the user on semantics of we don't greet our customers, we welcome our customers. And I understand the difference between the two, and I understand that you want people to be welcoming. But you know the best way to improve your customer service? Make your staff feel welcomed at work, and they will make your customers feel the same way. Hopefully you're not creating meme-worthy job postings. So what's causing your challenges to hire and keep staff? Well, that's what I want to talk about in this video. And unfortunately, it does go back to what I said before. It's either they don't want to work for your company or they don't want to work for you personally. Now, there could be a lot of reasons under those two umbrella categories of why you're experiencing problems finding enough people. The first and most likely scenario is that it's you, the business owner or manager. It doesn't mean that you're a mean or spiteful, mean-spirited boss. The issue probably stems from a lack of information, lack of training, or it could be that you've never received any management training or leadership training, which, by the way, are two distinctly different things. If so, you're not alone. In fact, over 59% of managers have never received any form of management training. That's no formal training, that's no onboarding to a new position, that's no training from when they worked a previous role into being promoted into management. And how can we expect people to effectively manage or lead if we're never giving them the training and the tools to do so? The vast majority of business owners and managers I've worked with through our coaching and training programs are fantastic people who want to get the best work out of their teams while treating people with respect. They just have not been given the training or the tools to do it. All right, I'm going to give you the answer. If you are a business owner or manager looking to get the best work out of people and keep them working for you long-term, you have to create an environment where people feel respected, trusted, encouraged, and inspired. Now, I'll drop a link in the description to our knowledge suite, which will have a lot of free information, articles, that kind of stuff. But it's worth me saying right now that this is not about making people feel warm and fuzzy. It's not, trying to figure out how to make everybody happy all of the time. This is about treating people not like a commodity, but treating people with respect, treating people as people who add value to your business. Which actually leads right to the next point, is that the second biggest reason why no one wants to work for you is probably your company and the way it treats employees. If you treat people like a commodity, trying to suck every ounce of productivity or value from the person only to discard them at even the slightest infraction, whether it's an unplanned absence, home life starts affecting their work. It could be layoffs at the end of the quarter to meet some arbitrary profit goal. If you do these things, you will never, ever get the best out of people because you're giving them your worst. Now, it's most likely that you're not in this scenario, but just because you're not necessarily treating people as a commodity and laying people off on a whim doesn't mean that your company is not driving people away from your workplace. The far more likely scenario for why people don't want to work for your company is because of the policies, procedures, and practices have not changed to meet the expectations of the workforce. Now, this is something that we talk about a lot, and there'll be a link here to watch our video on the 7x3 rule. But essentially what I want to talk with you about is that there are 7 factors that your company has direct control over, which contribute to job dissatisfaction. It's wellness. Does your company have policies or practices in place which contribute to staff's wellness? The mental health crisis has only gotten worse since COVID, and this is even more true for members of marginalized communities. 2 is your conditions. What are the conditions of your workplace like? Some of these things cannot be changed by the nature of the job. For instance, if the work is very physical, if the environment is hot or cold, the work is performed outside in any type of weather, these things you can't necessarily control. However, even though those aspects are legitimately part of the job, how does your company work to minimize the effects of those conditions? Next is policies. These are largely going to be your HR and administrative policies. Now, do you only provide the bare minimum that is legally required of you? Or do your policies look to create a standard or level of protections beyond just your basic legal compliance? One of the things that a lot of people don't think about, especially with policies, is that what message are you sending to people by only giving them the bare minimum? We as business owners, as managers, often ask people and expect people to take initiative, to do more than just the bare minimum. And yet on a regular basis, we are reinforcing that we are not willing to do the same for them. All right, moving on. Compensation. This one's easy. It's the compensation. It's the way that you compensate your employees for their efforts, whether it's wages, benefits, whatever. Job security. This is a big one because job security it feels like it's completely vanished in the last 20 years. Do people feel that they have any level of job security in their job? Or do they know that at a moment's notice, the company may decide to lay them off so that profits will go up by 0.5%? Safety. Physical safety is important here, and it will include occupational safety and standards, policies, practices, all that stuff. But it's also how safe do people feel at work? Is there bullying or harassment from staff and customers? Do people feel safe that they can make mistakes, or are they constantly in fear of reprisal for minor infractions? Going back to that news clip from the beginning, would you want to work for minimum wage in an environment where customers feel that they can physically assault you over ketchup? Yeah, that's an extreme example. But it shows the point of you need to make people feel safe, because not only has the workplace changed, our societies have changed, and the way that people feel entitled to treat others in the workplace have changed significantly. It's your job as a manager or as a leader, as the company, to protect those who you have authority over. Now, the last one is consistency. There are the expectations placed on people consistent day to day? Is there consistency in their job duties? Or when they show up to work, do they never really know what they're going to be doing that day or how they're going to be treated? The sad reality is that potential employees are either avoiding you as the business owner or manager, or they're avoiding your company because of the way you treat your staff. You have to ensure that you're addressing those 7 factors in a way that is first competitive within your sector or within your industry. That second, that they are sufficient to actually accomplish the intended purpose. And the one I love going back to for a sufficient is wellness. A pizza party on a Friday is not a wellness policy. If that's all you're doing, you are not sufficiently addressing wellness in your workplace. The third is that it needs to be equitably applied to everyone. Now, thanks for watching. And if you'd like to stay up to date on when we post new content about how you can create a productive, efficient, and profitable workplace, don't forget to subscribe.